Yo, welcome back to the channel, boys and girls. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys a step-by-step guide on how to custom paint your bike here at home, as well as design your own custom graphics for your bike so that you can be the coolest kid on your next coffee ride. Now, if you are new to my channel, my name is Patrick Lino and I am a failed Cat 5 crit racer here in Chicago. And in my spare time, I build up custom bikes and I do bike reviews. And most recently is I purchased this R12 Aero disc frame set that I'm going to be making custom, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that today. So without further ado, let's get started. Alrighty guys, so with any paint project, preparation is the most important thing. So right now we're just removing all of the metal hardware because we're not going to need that. We don't want any paint on there. Right now I'm also just covering up all the important areas with painter's tape because we don't want any paint on the metal bits. Also here, just covering up the steer tube, the carbon. Definitely don't want to get any paint inside there. And now we're just going to use some isopropyl alcohol because we want to remove all of the oils and smudges from my fingerprints earlier on. This is important because you don't want any smudges to see through the paint as well as the clear coat. And this is what we're using, guys. We have our 2K clear coat here with the hardener as well as the Dupli color effect. Let's get started.
There goes nothing.
Alright guys, and after 3 coats using our Special Effects metallic paint, this is what it looks like. Now, it's by no means perfect. I do have a couple of drips on the frame as well as on the fork, and I do have a little bit of orange peel, which is okay. Yeah, the frame is not perfect and stuff. As you can see, there are some other imperfections that are seeping its way through from the raw carbon or from the paint primer that the manufacturer used, but that's okay. That's exactly what I wanted to go for. That was sort of the effect I wanted, where I wanted some of the imperfections to poke through while also having a little bit of this metallic paint. So once this cures overnight, I'll do a little bit of sanding and then it'll be time for our 2 coats of our 2K clear coat. Let's continue. So what makes this particular brand of clear coat extremely popular is the fact that included with it is a hardening agent that you activate by pressing in this red tab here on the bottom. It comes on the top of the can, but then you remove it from the lid, you pop it in, and then you have about 48 hours to apply your clear coat. Now I must say this stuff is extremely dangerous to your lungs, so make sure you're wearing some sort of respirator and you're applying your clear coat in a well ventilated area. But yeah, I also bought this $3 handle. It's supposed to allow you to have a little bit more control over the spray. So yeah, I already sprayed 2 coats. I'm letting it dry and cure, and yeah, we should be good to go. Let's continue. Alrighty, so now that we've given our clear coat a time to dry and cure, the next stage is to compound the whole entire frame. Now, the reason why we have to do this is because during the clear coat process, there was a little bit of overspray, a little bit of orange peel that I want to get rid of. And so by compounding, we'll be able to remove some of that orange peel and bring the frame to the next level of shine. I'm not going to be using this 5,000 or 3,000 grit sandpaper. I don't think that's necessary, but this just is showing the prep on what we have to do. So first we'll have to use a little bit of isopropyl alcohol and a rag to make sure our surface is clean. We'll use the compound as well as this applicator pad for the work. And then once we do that, we'll be able to wipe everything down with a microfiber towel. And I also did a test area first to make sure that the clear coat was dry enough to actually compound, and it is, so we'll be good to go. I should also mention that you don't necessarily have to do this compounding stage on the frame if you actually did a good job of clear coating your frame. But unfortunately I didn't because this is my first time, and so that's why you have to do this stage. And so the process when it comes to compounding, once everything has been prepped and clean, is you want to do a section at a time. So I'm probably going to be doing say from like here to here. We're going to use our compounding gel or whatever this is. We'll wipe it down and sort of apply it in a circular motion. We'll give it about 30 seconds to dry, and then that's when we'll wipe it down. And so we're going to do this section by section until hopefully the whole entire frame is nice and shiny. So let's continue. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and start with this little area right here. All right, so first things first, we have our compounding solution here. We'll shake it up. Make sure everything looks good here. All right. Just gonna apply just a little bit, just so. That should be good. All right, Awesome. And then we will apply our compound here. All right, so little swirls like so, circular motions up and down. And then now using our clean and dry microfiber towel, we will buff off the excess compound. The nice thing about using compound is it's a very, very forgiving compounding with the grit. So you don't have to apply a lot of pressure. And if you aren't sure on how to compound paint like I am, this is okay because it's doing very, very little. Versus if you're trying to use some sort of 1000 grit sandpaper, that can do a lot of damage where you would end up having a lot more work to do after the fact. But with just compounding, especially with this Meguiars compound, it's very forgiving and it's easy to use for beginners out there such as myself. So even to the touch, this area is a lot smoother than the areas that have not been compounded. Now there are a couple things I do want to point out is number one is you see these little imperfections here. Now this is actually through the clear coat onto the actual frame itself. This is directly from the factory, but this is exactly what I wanted because this is, like I said, a raw carbon frame. And so I wanted some of these imperfections to poke through the clear coat. The other thing I want to mention too is you probably can't tell in camera, but there is still a little bit of run from the clear coat when I sprayed it. This compounding solution, the grit is so fine that it's not going to get this out. I would probably have to use the 3000 or maybe even the 5000 grit sandpaper to get this out. You can kind of tell here, but I'm okay with this because this is where the bottle cage holders are going to be. So it's going to be covered up anyway. And even for some of these other areas here where there might still be some overspray that I probably am not going to be able to get out, it's okay because we still have to add all of the logos onto the frame. And so some of the areas where it's really bad, I'm not too concerned about because they're going to be hidden. Alrighty guys, and 2 hours later, our frame is finally compounded and polished to a nice finish. Now just to recap, the reason why this stage was necessary is because when I was applying the clear coat out in the garage, it unfortunately did not go on as smooth as I'd liked. And so unfortunately we had some orange peel and some overspray that I wanted to get rid of just a little bit. Now this compounding solution here, it's such a micro abrasion that it's not gonna take out all of the orange peel, but it will leave the frame with a really, really nice shine. So what we did was we wiped everything down to make sure our surface was clean. We went ahead and used this compounding solution with the applicator pad. We waited a couple minutes and then afterwards we wiped everything down. So everything looks really, really good. The frame by no means is perfect. However, the areas where there are some larger imperfections, it's okay because it's going to be covered up with the decals. So like I said, everything looks good. I'll probably give you guys some B-roll footage just so you guys can really see what this paint looks like in light. Let me tell you, it looks sick. So the next stage, guys, is to go ahead and apply our decals. Let's continue. Man, I look a mess. I need to shave. Yo, so we are on our way to pick up my frame from the custom graphics and vinyl shop here in Chicago. They just reached out to me and said that the bike was ready to be picked up and that they were happy to apply the graphics themselves. Now, this particular shop that I chose, they actually specialize in doing custom graphics for automobiles. And the reason why I went with them is because the graphics that they use and the material is going to be a lot more durable than say some of the custom graphics and logos that you can order off of like some janky website online for 15 bucks. I believe they're going to charge me about $65 to do the job. So kind of how it works is you design your logos, your fonts, and you break everything down into a vector graphics file format, whether you can do that in Adobe Illustrator or Photoshop. You send it over to them, you kind of give them an idea of what you want. From there, they'll provide a work order for you to approve all of the designs. Once you approve, they will then have the job go into production. They'll make the cuts, print everything out, and then apply the logos and graphics directly onto the frame. So I'm really excited to see how the frame is going to turn out. So yeah, let's continue.
Here you go.
Yo, that's sick. That looks really cool. Oh, like, yeah, the Lions logo is like perfect.
Yeah, gave you an extra one just to.
Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah, that's nice.
Just because it's easy to cut out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I was a little worried about, but I seem to be doing okay, was because you had a little bit of drippage here.
Yeah.
That shouldn't affect it too bad, but just know that's.
Alrighty guys, so that about wraps it up for today's video. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to leave them down below. And I'm gonna check you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.